been doing a lot of MCU suits recently. It's time to shift over back to DC. You know, they can't get too comfortable. They gotta know they ain't safe.
This nigga thought he was safe. It ain't safe, it ain't safe, it ain't safe you anyway, nigga. If you don't get your elder boy, Rico Suave, I don't wanna be loved. Miguel, Nick Young, haircut, having ass. The fuck up out here!
No, it's not the likes of Batman or The Flash from The Flash, but Cyborg does meet the code. The design is very busy and, as many have mentioned already, 99% robot. Now, it's a little unique when it comes to Cyborg, since his designs throughout the comics and every adaptation varies in how much it chooses to balance the man and the machine. In some he has his real arms, in some he only has his top half of his arms, and in some he is mostly machine. It's clear that they took from the more recent comic designs of Cyborg, and by recent I mean as in made within the last 15 years, where he shows a lot less skin than he did back then when he was young and youthful and more free. But I don't know, I kind of prefer when there's more of a balance. It leans better into the whole Cyborg name. Even in the flashbacks of his origin, you see that a decent amount of his upper torso was left intact. It's not like he only had a head left. There should still be human upper arms and shoulders under there somewhere that we just never see. But then again, my favorite Cyborg design is the Teen Titans one, where he hardly has any skin showing. But that was mainly because he was given a lot of color and popped more on screen instead of just making him grey and silver, as if he just took a bunch of guns and melded them together. You know, he had some whites, he had some blacks, he had some blues. He was fun to look at. And yes, that was also because that was a cartoon. But I think it's a change that has stuck around for a reason. And the thing is, when you're depicting this character in shows and animation, you're kind of forced to make him simple. Nobody's animating this shit. But this is a movie, a 2021 movie, so you can be as bonkers as you want to be with the design. And I think those lack of limitations kind of hurt this design more than it helped. Snyder's Cyborg is the definition of over-designed. There's just too much shit going on. And it only gets worse when you go from top to bottom. His face/helmet piece is pretty much perfect, but then you go down and down and then it just gets a bit insane. And if you really want to defend it, you can use its origins in the film. But I don't know, man, it's just a lot. It's like a three-way combination of excessive details, lack of human parts, and lack of color that does it. If you're going to go for the 99% machine route, making it as overly complicated as possible is probably one of the last things I would do. I know some have sworn to never speak on this 2017 film again, but Cyborg does sport an upgraded look by the end of that film. And that's more ideal of what I'd picture Cyborg to look like, if you're going to go the all-robot route. First priority in this redesign is adding the arms back. I didn't want to create them from scratch, mainly due to authenticity, but also because that sounds like a nightmare. And I wasn't exactly keen on spending any amount of time searching shirtless photos of Ray Fisher on Google. But luckily, I remembered a behind-the-scenes video for Justice League on YouTube that films Ray Fisher training for the role. Of course, he has his shirt off because it's the only time you ever get to see that progress. After remembering this clip, I revisited it, found it, and took screenshots of his biceps, many screenshots of his biceps, to use as reference. I'll also simplify the robot parts, but by how much will vary depending on the shot I'm doing. Oh, Cyborg, the only member of the Justice League we only ever saw one time. Quite disappointing actually, especially if you're a fan of this character. And I am a fan of Cyborg, even though I'm not as familiar with him as a, let's say, Batman or something, obviously. I say that as if Batman's like an unpopular guy to be familiar with. But I do like Cyborg, you know. I remember him from the, well, I never saw the original Teen Titans show. You know, it just never came on TV when I was young. And I didn't have access to it. But, you know, I've always been a fan of the guy, you know. But I can't lie, I kind of prefer it when he's a Teen Titan opposed to a Justice League member. I don't know. He just feels like kind of an odd fit. I know this is more... oh my goodness. I know this is more inspired by the New 52, I believe it was. This was around, what, like 2016? When they made Cyborg a member of the Justice League. I don't remember who they replaced. I think it was Aquaman that they replaced with Cyborg. No, wait, it wasn't Aquaman. Who did they replace? I don't know. I do not remember. This was a long time ago. But what I'm saying is, Cyborg being part of Justice League was more of a new rendition to DC, you know. He's a Teen Titans guy, at heart, and that's kind of how I prefer him, you know. I don't know, it just feels like more his place. Not as in like a hierarchy type thing, like he's below being in the Justice League, but he's just more of a fit as a Teen Titan, you know what I'm saying? And yeah, I did like this version of Cyborg. I didn't find him necessarily as compelling as everyone was hyping him up to be, like before the Snyder Cut came out and even after. But still, I still really liked his character. I still would have liked to see him again. He was supposed to be in that Flash movie that didn't happen for obvious reasons, and we didn't see him again for obvious reasons. Yeah, it's a shame that we were just never going to see, you know, this character again. He was just kind of forgotten. That whole universe was a mess anyway. Like everything, like there was very little tangibility in that entire universe. Like Superman didn't show up again until how many years? And if you don't even count the Snyder Cut, you go back to the 2017 movie, that was his last appearance until Black Adam. So yeah, I think Cyborg was just one of many examples of the fact that this was just never going to work. But I would have liked to see this character come back, you know, evolve a little bit, you know, change up his look. Maybe he would have gotten a more classic Cyborg look along the way, or a bastardized version of it if he appeared in the Flash, you know. But I don't know what DC are going to do with this character. Will he appear in the new DCU? Probably. I think they're making a Titans movie, so he has to appear there, surely. Don't know when they plan on releasing that. But it seems like Cyborg isn't completely out of the dark yet. I feel like he'll probably be prioritized, if anything, because they showed him so little in DCEU. He appeared one time, and then he never appeared again. So yeah, I do believe this character will get a second chance in DCU sooner rather than later. I'd say probably like sooner than Aquaman, probably, because he has such a big role. He has so many appearances. Well, relative to everyone else, he had a lot of appearances in the DCEU. And the Flash, I feel like they want a lot of time to make people forget that film that happened. I feel like Cyborg's up there, and we'll see him again very soon.